You're listening to Packers Blitz with my co host Andy, the podcast done by two diehard Packer fans who survived the 80s of Packer football and lived to talk about it. This podcast is dedicated to all the greatest fans in the world, Packer fans. So, Andy, how you doing, buddy? Get back from the trip, everything good?
Yeah, feeling refreshed, feeling good. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome, buddy.
So
So,
there are only 12 days until Christmas, John, and only 4 games left in the NFL regular season.
mm-hmm.
And again, welcome Packers Nation to Packers Blitz. And how are you doing, John?
Yay, I'm doing pretty good. Kind of getting some Christmas shopping done, trying to get, things done for the crazy season. And I wanted to tell you fans, this would be a short episode because of the bye week, as well as everyone is super busy with holiday stuff. We know that. So before we get to our topic today, Andy wants to do something that, well, we have to do here on Packers Blitz, and that is talk about the playoffs. So, Andy, why don't you give us the playoff odds? Thank you, for the Packers.
Yeah, basically on my message board up in front of me on my computer, it just basically I just put not looking good. Just left it at that.
That's
But
an
we
understatement.
do have a shot. We have a
We
chance.
do.
You could say a lot of different things. So yeah, we should at least talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. Let's.
So
Yeah.
John,
How?
as of yesterday, Monday, December 12th, because we're recording that today. Today's Tuesday, the 13th. But as of yesterday, the Packers have only a minuscule. I emphasize the word minuscule. 3%
Minuscule.
chance of making the playoffs. And so, according to Bill Huber of SportsIllustrated.com, he's actually pretty famous. You hear his name here and there
Yeah.
in
Little
NFL
Bill.
circles and Packer circles in particular. He said, and I quote, the Green Bay Packers got a bit of help in their long shot bid for a playoff spot in the NFC on Sunday. First, the good news.
All
Two
right. Good news.
teams who are ahead of the Packers in the playoff race, the New York Giants and Seattle Seahawks, lost. Now the bad news. The Detroit Lions
Oh,
stayed hot by beating the Minnesota Vikings. We do like to repeat that over and over again. The
yes, you
Lions
do.
did beat the
Minnesota
Vikings,
Vikings
so that part's good.
lost.
Really good. So there are only 2 playoff spots available. We already know that Green Bay cannot win the NFC North.
Nope.
That's a spot. We
That's
cannot
gone.
catch the Cowboys for one of the
No.
3 wild card spots. So there's
No.
only 2 spots. I repeat that, 2 spots available. The Washington Commanders and the New York Giants both have records of 7-5-1 and hold the final 2 playoff spots in the NFC as of now. The before mentioned Seattle Seahawks are 7-6, and the Detroit Lions, before
Ooh.
mentioned, also rank ahead of the Packers, and again they are 6-7 right now. Last night, good news: Arizona lost and was eliminated, so they
Yeah.
are not going to be in the playoffs this year. So what's the upcoming schedule for the Pack? The Packers close out the year against the LA Rams, who are 4-9 at Lambeau Field. They play the Miami Dolphins, who are 8-5 in Miami Gardens, Florida. And then they're back at home for the last 2 games against the Minnesota Vikings, who are 10-3, and the Detroit Lions. We already mentioned they're 6-7. 6-7. So these are all winnable games.
Yes,
The
there.
Rams have been awful all year. The
Yeah, they have.
Dolphins have lost the last 2 weeks. They were 8-3, and now they're 8-5. The Vikings, we usually split with them every year, and it's our turn for a win. So we're going to
There you
win
go.
that game. And then the Lions have won, if you can believe this, 5 out of the last 6 games, but they're the Lions. Remember that. And we usually
Yes,
split
and
the
it's the
season
last
series with
game.
them as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So basically, John, Packers fans, in a nutshell, the Packers have to win out to have
Mm,
any chance at the
run
playoffs.
the
They have to
table.
win out. So J.R. Radcliffe with the Milwaukee Journal wrote a very, very, very long article in which he talked about all of the scenarios, the first tiebreaker, the second tiebreaker, the third
Oh
tiebreaker, the fourth
boy, here we
tiebreaker,
go.
and the fifth tiebreaker. The reason I repeated that 5 times, I'm like, I didn't even know there were 5 tiebreakers,
Yeah, neither
but
did
he's
I.
going through every scenario. And then I'm thinking to
Yeah,
myself, he said right at the beginning of his article, we only have a 3% chance. So it's like, why did you just go to that all that time and effort? But anyway,
yeah, exactly.
very thorough, well done. I did want to say that. Good job, JR. Not the other JR, not you, JR, but the JR
No,
Radcliffe.
yeah, the other
Um,
chair.
so that's another reason I picked that article, John.
There you
But he
go.
was almost too thorough. So in my opinion, let's not overthink it. The
Hmm.
Packers just need to take it 1 week at a time and one victory at a time. So let's stay hopeful, but also let's stay realistic and mindful that it's going to take a Christmas miracle.
Miracle, yeah. Just really quickly, I mean, the NFL season. We can talk about this when we have our end of the year wrap up show. Hopefully, it's later than sooner. Packers make the playoffs. But one of the things is it's just really strange. I mean, the Lions played really, really well. I mean, they won that game. I mean, there was no doubt they beat the Vikings. But I'm just look at some of the other teams like the Commanders, and I just don't understand how they're winning. They don't, I mean, they have a run game, sure, and a pretty good defense, but Tyler Heineke, yeah. But they're winning, so who knows, right? Anything else to add about playoffs? Playoffs?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big question mark, isn't it? So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, realistically, Packers fans, we've got a 3% shot, but 1
Hey,
week at a
okay.
time, one victory at a time. Stranger things have happened.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
NFL. Anything can happen, and we'll see. Maybe a Christmas miracle for us.
Christmas miracle. So let's get right into the Packer Blitz topic. And this has been happening a lot lately if you've been following the Packer news, because obviously people don't give us a a really good shot to make the playoffs. And basically, the thing is, should we move on from Aaron Rodgers and keep Jordan Love? That was a really big topic because one, we already talked about it in episodes 5 and 4, and we talked about how Aaron Rodgers, if he retires, and Andy brought up some big cap numbers, and we talked about Jordan Love, is he ready? In episodes 3 and 4. So we've actually talked about it quite a bit. But the big thing was Jordan Love was on Wilde and Tausch. They have a really good show. Jason Wilde, is a reporter. It's good old Tauscher, Mark Tauscher from the Packers and the Super Bowl team. Great tackle, offensive lineman. So they spoke to Jordan Love. And basically, Jordan Love didn't come out and say this, but basically he said, hey, play me or trade me. And again, he did not say play me or trade me. I want to make that clear, but read between the lines because one of the biggest things is, he was pretty open about, hey, I just want to start. I want to play. I want to hold a clipboard. And you can't blame the guy because any player in the NFL who just wants to collect a paycheck should not be playing in the NFL. You want to be starting. You want to be that guy, right? Everybody wants to be the quarterback because he's that guy. And if you're the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers and you're winning, wow, you're set for life. So one of the things is two things actually came out. One was how he said, "Hey, I want to play, and it's really important, but I really learned a lot, and I'd like to stay." And he said all the right things. But one of the things that I saw too was Alan Lazard came out. He said he's different. Love is different than former years. He just seems to have a better control of the offense. He's more confident. He throws a really good ball. It's just different. And Gutekunst, his press conference, of course, he said, "Hey, love is the answer." Kind of, "Hey, he's the greatest." What else is he gonna say? He sucks? No. But again, we talked about in past podcasts that if Love was that good, Aaron Rodgers would not be here. We would have got rid of him. So really, my opinion is let's see what we can get for Love. Let's just kind of put our feelers out there because I feel if you can get a first and a third and a player, of course you take that trade because you can bundle the picks, move up in the draft, get a premier offensive lineman because we do need help in the offensive line. Bakhtiari is a mess. Let's be honest. I mean, how that guy is keeping it together, I have no idea. And if he's back next year, which is fine, and that'd be great, we'd love to have him, but he just had an appendectomy procedure or something. He had another new baby. I mean, the guy's, come on, let him go. But anyway, who knows too? Maybe we can move up too and get a starting quarterback like Bryce Young, who's going to still be on the board, in my opinion, because, and we'll cover this in our draft special that Andy and I are going to do. He has injury concerns, and a lot of people are kind of getting scared of that. So, one of the other things, though, is the only way if we keep Rodgers is if, well, he doesn't retire. And I know it seems like, he's kind of changed his mind and maybe I'll retire. I got to be all in. It's got to be both of us who want to have me on the team. But really, let's be honest again, Packer fans, we have to be all in with Aaron Rodgers, right? We have to go out and get him weapons. We all have to make sure his offensive line is good. We got to make sure we have a defensive coordinator, which we'll talk about that after we kind of see how the defense does here in the next few weeks, 4 weeks. But I just don't see that happening. And the biggest problem is cap room. And unless Aaron Rodgers says, "Hey, I'm going to lower my cap to $10 million," give me a break. He's not doing that. And like I said, we covered that in episode 5 of our podcast about, and Andy brought in some big numbers. I mean, it's crazy what we owe this guy, whether we keep him or don't keep him. And I just, one of the things I just think about is if Love is your guy, and because he's not my guy, and Aaron Rodgers is my guy, I'm just not sure if it's a wise move to have Love take over because I'm still debating and the jury's still out about him. So, Andy, help me. What should the Packers do?
Well, before I get into that, John, I did want to mention Mark Tauscher. He's probably the best 7th-round pick we've ever had.
Yeah.
Great player. Over
Next
a
to Donald
decade
Driver.
at right. Yeah, Donald Driver, another one. Yep. Over a decade at right tackle for us, and I believe he was a 7th-round pick, wasn't he, from Wisconsin?
Correct. He was 7th round. Yep.
Yeah. Great player, and a lot of people thought he should have been in the Pro Bowl and All Pro and all
He should have.
this and that. And he was a great player, just awesome
Yeah, he's
player.
a
So I didn't
Packer
want to
Hall of
mention that.
Famer.
And you had mentioned about the possibility maybe we could draft some people to replace. You don't really replace a David Bakhtiari, but
Yeah.
you might have to. I think his cap number for next year was like 29 million or something. It's really high.
It's big. It's a big number.
It's a big number, and that's unfortunately what left tackles are getting now. But if you can find a way to move somebody over, Josh Neiman or Nyman,
yeah, I
is that
hear
his
you.
name? Yeah,
I think
I
so.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe move him over or Jenkins over or something. So I did want to
Uh,
mention that. So, um, but yeah, uh, trying to help you out as far as what should the
yeah. Help me out with
Packers do.
love. What should we
I mean,
do?
I'm pretty much agree with you 100%. And I really, I mean, I'll talk about some things I was going to talk about, but you pretty much said it all. So, um, the Packers, organization actually, John doesn't have to do much until
No.
at least not at the moment, maybe in the off season. Rodgers and Love are both still under contract for 2023 and 2024. Love has that option year in 2024 where they'll have to pony up the dough and give him around 20 million or whatever. But
Yeah, that's correct.
he's under control for 5 years, I believe. So you
Yeah.
know that's going to be something they're going to have to decide later. So um, so so again, say Love wants to trade, Love wants this, Love wants that, whatever. The Packers do not have to do a thing to appease them.
Yep.
They don't.
No.
What the Packers do need to do as an organization is to make a decision. Wait a minute, they already have. They gave Rodgers the bag.
Yes,
And
they
now
did.
Aaron is the starter, Jordan is the backup, period.
Yeah.
And that's just the
Right.
way it is. And but it would be nice again if the Packers as an organization would communicate with both of them again before the draft
Yeah.
in 2023, kind of touch base with them, and then say, okay, Love says or demands, I want to trade, I want to start somewhere else.
Hmm.
Then make it happen, but do it on the Green Bay's terms, on the organization's terms. Again, some of those potential trade partners, I think Colin Cowherd was talking about the Seahawks.
No, not
Um,
that.
I throw a few more out there, just throw them out there. New York Giants,
Mm,
Carolina,
mm,
Atlanta, Houston. There's a lot of teams that are
mm.
going to be looking for a quarterback in
Yeah.
the offseason. So either through the draft or
So,
through a potential trade. So
hang on,
um,
Andy. Hang on. What do you think we can get for Love? Do you think we could get a first and a third, or do you think?
no,
Yeah. What do you think we
no.
could get?
No,
What do
because
you?
they've got us though. They already know we're committed to Rodgers, so I don't think that's ever going to happen.
So fourth and a
And
fifth.
again, they don't have enough film and enough tape on him anyway for them to do that.
Okay.
So
So what do you think? A fourth rounder, a fifth rounder? I mean, that's
no, I
pretty
was thinking
low.
more. I was hoping we could get a second round pick and maybe another second round pick, and I think that would be
No,
asking for a lot. But we got
no, it would be.
we got that for our great wide receiver Watson. We gave up 2 second round picks for
Yeah.
him. So and
Yeah.
he's turned out great, by the way. I think we got the best of that trade too. At
Yeah.
least they've
Definitely
been
check out
saying.
our other podcast to hear that. Some
Yeah,
cool
and then
stats.
maybe a second and a third. But
Hmm.
actually, because Rogers' career is coming toward an end, of course, he's just turned 39. I would almost prefer that we would get some proven starters in return for Love. And I know that's asking a lot, but you know
Hmm.
that's. But the thing is, we don't really have to do anything. He's still under
Right.
contract for
Exactly.
potentially 2 more years. And
Yeah.
because of that, we kind of we're in the power. We have control of what the scenario is and what the narrative is. So
Yeah.
they don't really have to do anything. Now,
Right.
on the other hand, if Rogers decides to retire and maybe ask, ask for a trade, then that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother
Yeah. We'll
discussion.
talk about that. Yeah.
And what a bombshell that would be. And
Yeah.
remember,
That'd be
Packers
huge.
fans, he is guaranteed
Yes.
$59.5 million in
Yeah. That's huge.
2023. And he's not retiring. I don't see any
Why would
way
you?
anybody
Right.
would pass that up.
But
And then he may ask for a trade. But it might be tough for the Packers to find a potential suitor that's vying for a title,
yeah.
that wants to stay under the salary cap and keep all of its core players. And then there would be the draft picks and the players needed by the trade partner to get the deal done. And I
Mm,
just don't see that happening I just don't see that happening either. And remember, Rodgers would basically have to
Hey,
approve the team he was going to and the money.
hey, Andy,
Yep.
remember when I told you about the Chicago Bears, how much they have salary cap room? 110 million? They could swallow that contract easily. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
I literally would burn all my Packers stuff if Rodgers became a Bear.
Yeah, but
I'd be
again,
like, that's it, I'm out.
that's in division again, and just like with Favre, they traded him to the Jets in the AFC. I don't see them doing,
No.
that,
I'm just, yeah.
especially in division. So that might happen later on, way
Hmm.
at the end of his career, but I don't see Rodgers playing more than maybe 2 or 3 more years. He's going to
No.
try to pull a Tom Brady and find a team that can win now and maybe get him another uh, title before he
You mean
bows out.
temper tantrum Tom Brady? That's who you mean, little
Yeah.
kid.
Yep. Yep. He
Again,
lost again last week too.
yes, and he threw this
That
temper
was
tantrum
awesome.
because he's a punk, and I want everyone to know that. Okay, so,
Especially
but
during the
one of the
games.
other, so I want to throw another thing out at you. You know who else is really under the cap? The New England Patriots. They are 50, close to $60 million under the cap. Hmm.
Hmm.
You don't think
Interesting.
Bill Belichick wouldn't call us and ask? Yeah, because Mac Jones is not lighting the world on fire. So,
Yeah, like I said, I could have listed off a whole bunch of
right, I
teams,
know. Yeah,
but that was just totally off the top of my head. I
yeah.
wrote down the first ones that came to mind, but the Seahawks were the ones that they keep, at
Ugh.
least somebody who will remain nameless has been talking about quite a bit.
Yeah, that
So,
rhymes with the who's the cow. Anyway,
mm,
so I think we both agree Aaron Rodgers is going nowhere. That would be a bombshell if he did retire. Maybe not as surprising, but going somewhere would be a bombshell, and having Jordan Love. So my feeling out of all this is, hey, we don't have to do anything. Jordan Love, if you really want to get out of here, okay. If we can get stuff for you, let's do it. But if we can't, well, the bench, enjoy it, because we're not going to do anything stupid, at least hopefully, and get nothing for you and trade you away. So anyway, I just think that it's going to be interesting moving forward in the off season. And this off season is going to be a lot of fun. We're Andy, I think we're going to be making some podcasts over the summer. Instead of taking a break, we might have to hop on and make some, but who knows, right?
yep.
Yeah. So we'll find that out. Anyway, so let's go. We're gonna do a short games preview of Rams Packers. Andy, take it away with the short preview.
Very short. So Packers fans, Baker Mayfield, yes.
Mayfield.
Packers fans, Baker Mayfield, or just call him BM for short,
BM. I got a BM.
is now the starting quarterback for the LA Rams. He was
Wow.
formerly of the Cleveland Browns this
Mm,
year and the Carolina Panthers.
yeah.
Last week, he actually rallied the team to victory over the Las Vegas Raiders 17-16 with 2 late fourth quarter TDs. And I watched some of
Ugh.
that game, and it was just, I don't know
Ugh.
what the Raiders were
I
doing,
didn't know either what they're
but
doing.
yeah, I don't know if it was all Baker Mayfield or not. He made a play, a couple nice throws,
Uh,
especially that last one, but I think it was to Van Jefferson. But um, yeah, I think he's a former Packers, son of a former Packers wide receiver, John Jefferson, isn't he? And whatever.
Not sure on that. Could be.
Off the subject, but you
Yeah, I
had to
got
bring up
you.
some Packers with that whole thing. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
Baker Mayfield is the former number one first pick in the NFL draft.
Yep.
He was 20 of 35 for 230 yards and one TD pass. So he played okay, I would
Hmm.
guess from
Yeah.
those numbers. But I mean, good enough to win, I guess. But
I
again,
guess.
yeah. So and then Aaron Donald's may miss his third game, his third contest in the last 9 seasons. He's only missed 3 his entire career, and he may miss another one this Monday night against us, hopefully. But actually, the defense played pretty well without him. So we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes. So
Yeah.
I did want to list off, and this kind of ties into the game with and BM is that the Packers have lost to this list of quarterbacks during this season. Their first loss was against Kirk Cousins. Second one, Daniel Jones. Third one, Zach Wilson. Fourth one was Taylor Heineke.
Taylor
Then
Heineke.
Josh Allen, Jared Goff, Ryan Tannehill, and
Oh boy.
Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to get to the point here, but
Yeah.
only 2 of those quarterbacks are any good, and they are really good and MVP candidates. That would be Allen and
Yeah.
Hurts.
Right.
Most of the other quarterbacks are either washed up, have played below expectations, are backups at best,
Yeah.
and or are not even starting anymore, or maybe playing for another team, another club in 2023. So the point is, it's the Packers' disappointing 2022 season. This is the way it's been. Even with BM running the offense, a victory is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
However, I will say the Packers are 7.5 point favorites according to DraftKings Sportsbook. And hopefully this particular odds maker is right this week and we get a
Yeah.
victory.
No kidding. Yeah. I think the Packers can and will win this game because you really have no excuse anymore. You've had the time off. You're playing against Baker Mayfield at home. If you lose this game, season's over. So again, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how things play out because this is new territory for us. We haven't really done this in years where we've had a season over or nearly over at this time. Usually we're going, for the number 1 spot or number 2 spot or something in there where we're just jockeying for playoff positioning. Now we're just hoping to make the playoffs.
Right.
So,
Just trying to survive, trying to hang in there.
so anyway, yes. So Andy, you want to sign us off here?
So thank you all so much for listening to Packers Blitz, and go Pack.
Yeah, we love you, Packer fans. Happy holidays to you. We'll be back after the Monday night game, hopefully with a big win. And then we can talk about, Miami and moving forward. But again, everyone, we love you. Have a great holiday season. Andy, thanks again, buddy. You're the best. Talk to you
Thanks,
later.
John.